kindred longevity lifestyle designers, this is Zachary with secretsoflongevity.com. It's a Q&A video today, and we've got a whole bunch of questions that I haven't got to in a while. So if you've asked a question in the recent future, it might be at the end of the list, and if I don't get to it today, then I'll do another one of these Q&A videos sooner rather than later. Before I get into the first question, I just want to mention that if you have a whole slew of questions, or you have an issue going on in your life, or whether it's big or small, or you want to get my feedback on any particular issue concerning yourself or whatever it happens to be on your mind, we can easily set up a phone or email consultation. I've got a link below that will take you to the page on my site, which has the form for doing email or phone consultations. It has two options for each 1 week or 2 week email consultation, or a 45-minute or hour and a half phone consultation. But of course, those are very flexible. We can always figure something else out if you want to do an hour or 2 hour phone consult, or again if you want to do longer or shorter periods of time through email. And with that, the first question's from Max, and he's asking, or rather wanting to get my feedback on something he's been having occur to him. So you said you've been having this thing go on for before you started sort of changing your lifestyle for the better. And when you began adding in some more raw foods, superfoods, and other things into your diet, you said these increased naturally. And then you also noted the fact that when you're using grounding technology, or I think you said grounded outside, these same things are going on, but they're not as localized. So what's going on, I'll say that first, is you described sort of like energy surges through the body that were tingling. You called them attacks, but from what I read later on in your message, it sounded like it wasn't a bad thing. It almost sounded like just a nice feeling that was flowing through your body, and you were saying it would happen in different parts of your body, and then when you were grounded it would be like more, or less intense, but more gradual, is the way you were describing it. So without getting too much into the detail of what you were explaining in your message, I'll say that it sounds like sort of a classical energy body awareness awakening. One of the first things I got into before I got into more diet, nutrition, and everything I'm doing on this channel, and which I will in the future be talking more about, and I can talk about if people are interested in, is I became a Reiki master at quite a young age. I was doing how to practice doing energy work on people, and doing sound therapy and other things like that. And I've worked a lot with different types of energy work, qigong, sort of more modern forms. So if we're feeling tingling sensations, that's, to my knowledge and my experience, that can be related to sensations of energy blockages that were there prior to opening up, and you're just having more sensations of that. It could be sort of a spiritual awakening due to the change of lifestyle. You've got old blockages, both physical, mental, emotional, all clearing away, and so you're having these experiences and sensations. And that really, to me, makes the most sense, because you're describing bringing in higher vibrational foods and sort of cleaning up the diet, and that's bringing about these changes in sensation. And when you're talking about the grounding, it just seems that that's more balancing to these sensations and whatever's coming into your body. I wouldn't say it's a good thing, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's just the changes that are occurring. You may find that these subside over time. You might find they increase. If you want to try playing with some basic forms of meditation, I'd be careful just in certain things. I wouldn't just recommend going on the internet and typing up something and sitting down and trying it. I'd either go to a class of some sort of type of energy work or meditation, or go for some body work of some sort, whether it's Reiki, any sort of hands-on healing work. Even massage work can help bring about positive changes with this. And then also yoga or qigong and anything like that is going to be beneficial in bringing about change in a positive light of whatever it is that you're experiencing. If you are interested in looking more into sort of energy work and any of that, I'd highly recommend Robert Bruce's website, astraldynamics.com. I'll put a link for that below too. And he has a few books out. One is called Astraldynamics. He has another book called Energy Work, very simple title. And yeah, he has a great system of energy work that's based on tactile imaging. It's one I've used for over 8 years now. It's very effective, especially effective for anyone wanting to get into the healing arts, anyone wanting to sort of awaken their energy body or astral body and develop these things to the point of having experiences like you might be having, or whatever people end up bringing to the surface for them to experience. But it can also bring about things like more lucid dreaming, astral projection, and these other things through intention and specific types of exercises. The next question is from someone asking about how bad mercury fillings are, and some other questions surrounding dental health, and how serious it is to get them out. And I'd say get them out as soon as you can. Of course, definitely make sure you're seeing someone that really knows how to take them out. Mercury is definitely leaking from anyone that has one of these fillings. They gradually increases over time, so if you've had them for a long time, it's even more important to get them out. And you need to have the proper procedures. You need a sort of a tent, little thing that catches any mercury at the back of your throat to prevent it from going down your throat during the removal. You also need proper ventilation in and around your head. There's a number of things dentists can do. Sometimes they do stuff like inject you with vitamin C. I'd stay away from that just because you don't want to be injecting yourself with synthetic vitamins. And I'm not a dentist, so don't take my word for it, but that would just be what I would do in the case of having mercury amalgam fillings. So yeah, get them out ASAP. And to replace them with, if you're going to be getting something to replace them with, I'd go for, you were saying you're probably going to get composite fillings. If you have the budget for it, go for porcelain. I personally have composites in, but I wish I had gone for porcelain almost like 5-6 years ago when I got these, because they're actually plastic. So when you're getting low levels of plastic leaching into your body, almost like you would mercury if you had mercury fillings. But with the porcelain, it's the closest thing to tooth enamel in terms of its hardness and its ability to stay with the tooth. So I don't know the price ranges, but I do know they're more than composites. And your other related question was about tonsillectomies and tonsil problems, and how important is it to keep the tonsils or not. Like if you had a really bad case of tonsillitis, is it worth getting them out? I'd say at all costs you want to keep your tonsils. They're a part of the immune system, just like the appendix, just like some other parts of the body that tend to be cut out by certain types of people that have a certain mindset. So the foreskin on males is actually a portion of the immune system, which is something I recently discovered. So there's all these parts of the body that get cut out. Spleen's part of the immune system. People will have their spleen cut out if it gets bad or infected. So tonsils, spleen, foreskin in males, appendix, and adenoids. So adenoids and tonsils. And all of these components of the lymph system, which are actually part of the immune system as well, are important to have as a whole. They're part of our body. We're born with them. They have a purpose. So yeah, changing diet, changing sleep patterns, changing exercise routines, doing all this just to continually evolve our practice and lifestyle to the point of being at a level of self-mastery. And yeah, at that point you should never have tonsil issues. When you're in a healthy state and you have a good foundational constitution to uphold that, you really shouldn't be getting such serious infections like that. So there's going to be something in your life that needs to be addressed, and working with any sort of really skilled, high-quality, holistic-minded practitioner is going to be of benefit. Leon asks if I have any strategies and ideas for incorporating, or what to incorporate into a diet if you're an early riser and you're getting up early to do like a workout or yoga or something of an active nature. So if you're getting up really early, like 4 or 5, or like even slightly before sunrise, depending on where you are in the world, it really depends on where you're at in terms of your overall health. If I was doing yoga at that time in the morning, which is highly unlikely, I would be probably consuming, first of all, half a liter to a liter of water, maybe some green juice, and that might be enough for a yoga routine. But you also want to keep in mind that you're not wanting all this liquid in you while you're doing the routines. You might not want to do quite that much. Some fruit, if you're doing any fruit, a certain amount of that before can be helpful, just to give you energy so that you can actually do a long routine if you're wanting to do a lot of exercise. But if you're doing weight training or any other anabolic types activity, I'd recommend against consuming any fructose for an hour or 2 before any workout that is anabolic in nature. and then staying away from any fructose for 3 hours afterwards. And this just helps optimize HGH levels in our body, which is a great benefit to strength training. So I wouldn't even eat fruit at all until 3 hours after any sort of weightlifting or vigorous muscle strength increasing exercise. Next question is from Jared, and he's asking or referring to an issue he's having with gray hair appearing. He's a 28-year-old male, and it seems to be premature gray hair, which it would be at that age. So you've asked a very specific question as to how long would it take for Shou to reverse gray hair. And this isn't such a cut and dry thing. We have to actually look at or realize that if we have some sort of symptom of our health that has gone less than optimal, we want to look at everything that could be contributing to that. So it's never one thing. Rarely is it ever one thing, unless it's a severe acute case of something. So like gray hair, it can be massive amounts of stress in your lifestyle. People can actually have their whole hair go white within a 24 or 48 hour period if they've had an extremely stressful situation. Like people who have been kidnapped and almost been killed, they'll often have like a massive amount of gray hairs appear within a very short period of time. It's quite frightening, really. But basically what's happening is the stress in the body is spiking adrenaline, cortisol way out of control, and it's just eating up, basically starting to break down the body. And stress also causes microcapillaries that feed the hair follicle, or the roots of the hair in the head, causes them to contract, and you get less blood flow to the scalp. So if you do have a high stress lifestyle, look at bringing that down in all the ways you can. If you have the ability to, liberally utilize a variety of holistic therapies, like get an Indian scalp massage or Indian head massages, I believe they call them, and just have someone massage your head once a week. You can massage your own head every day in the shower. You can do it twice a day. These are little strategies just to break up any sort of micro tension that might be in your scalp that you're not aware of. And anywhere there's muscular tissue can get tension and can become compounded with these tight bundles of muscle fiber that just never release until something goes in there to manually release them. So that can be one important strategy. Then you also have to address the overall diet. If you're eating a very high junk food, standard American type diet, that could be a very big reason as to why you're prematurely graying. Genetics come into play a little bit, but I think it's always possible to override that. So once you've addressed all the underlying causes that might have caused premature graying of the hair, in that case, once you've gotten rid of the things that would have progressively kept increasing the gray hair, if people do that in their own life, they're not going to necessarily reverse the gray hair because they've gotten rid of the stressors, but the damage has already been done. So to start to reverse that, that's when things like Shou come into play. I've got a link below for a great Shou extract that you can find on my friend's site, and it's an herb I use every day. It's one of my favorite herbs, very high in zinc, very high in a variety of minerals, lecithin. It's very good for the heart, the liver, the kidney organ system. And Shou is very notoriously known for helping bring gray hair back to its original color. So I'd use high doses of Shou 2 or 3 times a day. If you can get a teaspoon in 3 times a day, or even 2 teaspoons in 3 times a day, that's a very good amount to be taking in to begin this process of reversing it. But again, you also have to address the other underlying factors. Some other great things that go along with using Shou is getting an abundance of greens. So green juice, green sprouts, wheatgrass juice is quite well known for helping bring in the minerals. And actually it contains catalase, which is an enzyme that breaks down excess hydrogen peroxide in the bloodstream, that when it gets to the hair follicles, that can be a cause of gray hair as well. So when you have an abundance of catalase in your body, which is an enzyme which is known to diminish over time, then this is going to can be a cause for gray hair, and it's another sort of area we have to look at, what could be bringing down our enzyme levels in your body. So raw foods are a great thing to bring in enzymes back to the body. So with that, I'm going to say take care. I've got a event coming up on November 20th. If you're in the Southern Ontario area, Toronto, Guelph, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, come on out. It's, like I said, November 20th. It's from 2 to 4:30, and I'm doing 2 elixir demos, plenty of samples available, and then I'll also be doing a talk on adaptogenic herbs. So I've got a link below for that too to find out more. You can pay and get your ticket online. There's an early bird price. It's going to cost more if you show up at the door and wanting to get in, which by all means you can still get in, but save the money and get the ticket in advance. Or if you know me and you're living in the area, you can give me the money directly. And with that, I'm going to say take care and embrace life without limits.